All right, the Psychotic Strength Podcast. It's 10-9, Sunday. This is Tyler Toby Townsend.
Joey Stampke.
Austin Slick.
Brady Chisholm.
All right, we got a crew in here today. So we're going to be going over, real quick, do the gym update. I'll start. Gym update's been pretty decent. I'm sure you don't want to hear this, but I'm coaching some people now. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I guess. It definitely helps get you stronger, you know. I feel bad that I kind of skipped out on you. So, I mean, we can go over that eventually, too.
You skipped the student part and just became the master.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've been doing it a long time, and I wish I would have got a little better. And the opportunity to train with you, I wanted to bring that up, was phenomenal. And just life fucking happened.
Yeah,
You know
I
what
wish we could do more in-person stuff.
Yeah.
Just the online, remote coaching is just hard.
Yeah, it really is. I love one-on-ones or even... So what I'm doing is this guy bought a CrossFit gym. He had jiu-jitsu and he had the combat gym on this side and then CrossFit on this side. So he bought the whole fucking thing and is now pulling away from CrossFit. We're still trying to do the class thing. But so basically I'm trying to teach 5-3-1 on an hour basis to like 6 fucking people at once.
It's a good platform to start.
Yeah, so I'm just starting them with just some basic shit, just getting through some cues and stuff like that. For people who don't get crazy strong already, or who aren't already strong, or it's just a good start, right?
Yeah,
So that's
build
what
the
I'm working
foundation.
on. Right, and then we do Strongman Saturdays, and we're in there like this week we were pulling back sandbags around, throwing bags, and fucking sledgehammering a big ass tire. It was super hot.
And what gym is that?
Forge Strength and Fitness, I think is what they call it now. It was Forge Combat Academy, but yeah. So, anyways, just had to throw that out there on everywhere. You know, kind of wanted to apologize for the amazing opportunity that I squandered, but maybe we'll get back there. I'm glad you do. Yeah, that's great.
So,
anyways,
any drop-in fee for your strongman class?
So it's the first 3 are always free, and then after that, I think it's like $20 if you just want to do drop-ins. But then you can get a membership and you can actually do any of the classes, which means like kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, like all that shit. You can just go to whatever the fuck class you want. It's pretty sick. I like that it's all in one fucking building because I do kickboxing as well. So it's hard to like, this one's in Camas, like off of Lake Road. I don't know if you know where that is. Like it's the way in, there's like 2 ways into Camas, either the 14 or this Lake Road. It brings you over there by Lacamas Lake.
Yeah.
And so it's over there, and then hardcore is like in fucking Hazeldale. And I'm like, God damn it. So it's really hard for me to get to both. So, I mean, if you ask Craig, I haven't been in there in probably fucking 2-3 months, maybe. No, probably like 3 or 4 times in 2 or 3 months.
Did you train this week a little bit?
I did, but not at hardcore.
Yeah. Yeah, at your new place.
Yeah. So, just because I can't, like, train a fucking class I'm not doing, I feel like a piece of shit doing that. Be like, all right, you do all this stuff I don't want to do, you know? And
Do as I say, not as I do type stuff.
right, and I feel kind of like garbage because I'm, like, not as big as I was, or where I want to be. You know, you got that body dysmorphia bullshit. I want to not be able to fit through a door either direction.
So you don't want to be a middleweight anymore?
I want to be a heavyweight forever, right? I want to be the biggest motherfucker in the planet. I want to crush people's skulls with my hand.
You've got a heavyweight attitude, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
I always have.
Just
And
a little?
That was the thing. It was like, even when I first started Strongman, I was like, whatever obstacles are in my way, which height is huge for me. I'm 5'8", right? That's a fucking bullshit disadvantage with a lot of this. But I was like, fuck it. I'll just, like, throw it over. Like, you most of the time, like, stones over bar or stone, like, loading stones. Mm-hmm. I have to catch already. I'm at a disadvantage, but then I'll just make up for it with strength.
Yeah.
It made sense in my brain. Physically, it's a little more difficult to accomplish, but fuck it. So yeah, kickboxing, I'm doing that, and then training that class, which is a lot of fun. We'll get to you last because we'll work right into that shit. Because Joey's going to nationals, so we'll get there. Brady?
Gym this week was pretty good. 3 real training days, just kind of taking it easy. Because we're going to start prep for the sweater.
Okay.
We're all doing the sweater, so starting that. But still had some fun. Hit a 60-pound bag over a 15-foot bar. some runs with a 320 bag and a 310 keg, and then some axle dead from 18, which was cool.
Okay.
650 for a couple reps, made it comfortable. So, but a lot of off program stuff. So it was kind of a learning lesson too. You know, at the end of this week, I don't know if I feel better than I should. You know, so it's kind of a mellow training week for the most part, but I sprinkled in some stuff, and yeah, it was pretty fun.
Well, how do you feel about your training week? Do you feel like you fucked around too much, or do you feel like there was just enough of everything in there?
I feel like it was just the right amount if it were to be like a more appropriate time for me to be pushing like that. But I should be mellowing out right now, like going into a prep.
Yeah.
So like another week out of the year probably would have been cool, but you know, I learned my lesson that if we got to take it easy, we got to take it easy. You know what I mean? So that's cool. But other than that, yeah, just a lot of it was kind of like a mental training week. Like, yeah, I hit some cool numbers and stuff, but just three days of training, 4 days of relaxing. Had a lot of people reach out to me actually with some support, which is cool every now and then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
especially when you don't even like engage that conversation or like really expect it. It's cool to people be like, hey, you know what you're doing is fucking awesome, you know. Remember you a couple years ago, and now look at you. And so that was pretty unexpected. So it's a little boost. I think that's why I did all this off-program shit. It's because people were like, hey, this is cool. I'm like, yeah, well, watch this, you know. Yeah. So yeah, it's just pretty basic. Kind of the same thing. Sprinkle in some extra stuff, but it's getting good.
Okay.
Getting good. Yep.
Good, man. Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw some of your videos. And I love those.
The
Fantastic.
60-pound bag over that bar, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was really happy about
That's
that.
in one of your videos,
It's a
right?
big one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it looked beautiful. Gave me some jerk material. It was fantastic.
Yeah, you can put that in the spank bank, dude. I think it was pretty
Where I
cool.
put it. I
Yeah.
downloaded it on my phone.
Yeah.
In case I'm in a bathroom somewhere and need it quickly.
Yes.
All right. How
Yeah.
you doing, Austin?
I'm good too. Yeah, same as Brady. We're kind of on the same trajectory for the ugly sweater contest, and it was a down week before we really start comp prep. But it felt good. I felt like I needed it. I was feeling kind of tired and beat up after last week, and then when I saw that come in the program, down week, extra day of rest, I was like, all right, perfect. So I took advantage of it. I got suckered into trying to do a mild jog, which I haven't jogged for over a year, and saw someone post that they did it. I was like, all right, I got to try it. And I actually did it. I actually did fairly well. I could do the whole thing under 10 minutes and wasn't sore. It actually didn't hijack my week, so I was pretty happy about that. Other than that, though, I stuck to taking the time off and getting the rest I need. I feel really good right now.
So who's you guys are on the same program.
Yeah.
Similar.
Program is you?
Still coach
Taylor
Pat
Gone. Yeah.
Okay.
He's Pat Field's coach.
Really?
Yeah, I'm one of his OGs.
Oh, nice.
Taylor. Yeah, me and another guy named Tyler, and I don't know who else is still around from the OG days, but yeah, we were like the first on his team, and then he's just kind of blown up, and he coaches a few professional female athletes, and then a few professional male athletes too. Josh being one of them, and he's kind of a beast. So
Yeah, Josh is a monster.
yeah, and I talked to him a few weeks ago, Josh, and he's digging it. So
Cool.
whatever he's doing is working. You know, I think that's probably the thing that killed me the most. Like, not the axle dead or the sandbags or kegs or tosses or whatever, but running that mile.
Mm-hmm.
That was the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With him?
With the extra.
No, so he was talking about me. I'm the one because I ran a mile, and I was like, hey, dude, I did this. And like 30 minutes later, he's like, oh, I tried it out too. But that's something I'll probably never do again. I feel like I jeopardized my entire strongman career doing that.
What was
Yeah.
your mile time?
10:53. It was pretty slow, but I did it. I just wanted to, because I do walks like 2 or 3 times a week, and I was like, I was on a track because all these other places were like super busy and everything. So I was at a high school track, and I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna run a mile and see if I can still do it.
Is that like 4 laps?
Yeah.
Well, the track is however many meters, so it was like 3.5.
Oh, really?
Would make the mile. Yeah. But
just thought it was
some tracks are a quarter mile, and then
Okay.
some are measured in X amount of meters. I don't know how many, but
Well, usually they're 400 meters.
yeah, I think that one was 400 meters. So it was like 3.5 or some shit made the mile. I had a tracker on my phone, so it told me. I actually went a little bit more than a mile, which I did not mean to do, but I just had to keep going. I had the lungs all day for it, but like last time I ran a mile, I think I was 212 pounds or something, and then I ran this one at 270, and I had the lungs, but my feet and my knees and hips and my legs were getting a crazy pump, and so I think like maybe 10 steps in, I was like ready to quit, but I just kept going.
Yeah, I noticed the leg pump, especially in my calves and the front of where my shins are, just got swole when I was done. It's like just felt like a balloon.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I had the lungs for it too. I didn't have any problem running it, but just the conditioning for jogging is just way different. Your neck and your shoulders and back, you're just bobbing up and down, holding the big old head up. My shoulders and neck were a little tight the next day. But
did it take you long to catch your breath? After?
No, I felt pretty good. I grabbed my dog and walked another mile right after that, just to kind of
cool
down, and no, I felt really good. And I was like just mildly sore the next day, but honestly, like it went way better than I expected. Because I didn't think I'd even be able to run a full mile right now, like without having to stop and catch my breath. But no, I felt really good. I don't really want to do it either. I think if I did, I'd start way slower, break it up into like a half mile, and then walk a little bit, and actually trot and keep my heart rate down lower, and actually get the conditioning for it. But I don't think it was.
So what was your time?
It was like 9:50 something. Like,
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I
just
like
under 10.
9:56 or
I
something.
think the best I've ever done is like 8:12.
Oh, see, I used to be a runner. I used to be like
I'm
40,
not a
50 pounds
runner.
lighter than I am. I could run them like sub 6, sub 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck that. No,
I know, I used to run a 6-minute mile. I ran like a 5:90 or a 5:51 or some shit, but it was on a treadmill.
Okay.
I just had it at 10 miles an hour, and then the last half mile I just bumped it up a little bit just to get under 6. But that was a different time
Yeah.
for sure.
Fuck that.
Yeah, fuck that, dude. I'm wondering how I ever even did it before.
Well, when I was trying to get ready for that fight, that's when I was running a bunch, and I fucking got up to like 3 miles and went to see my doctor. I'm like, my knees are fucking killing me. He's like, yeah, you're too big to be running. Stop.
Are you running?
And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, like he's like, yeah, if anything, like jog a mile, slow it down, stop fucking doing it. He's like, I'd prefer you to walk a mile. And I was like, so like I'm trying to lose weight and you're telling me not to run. It was super fucking weird, but I'm just too large to be doing that shit. I was also thick as fuck from like strongman, so I was still like 260, 275.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a big fuck to trying to run like that.
Yeah, it
But-
takes a toll.
Yeah, I got under like 8:12 was like the best I've ever done, like ever.
That's pretty
So-
good for like 260, 270.
Yeah, I didn't
Well,
think
we
it was
got
bad.
long legs, so we can take big, long
Yeah.
strides. So it's easier to
was
quicken that mile
cool.
up.
Like a Chihuahua,
It, like,
keep it
totally-
with a Great Dane.
Totally fucked me up, and I don't think I'm going to do it again, but it was cool, man. I think that's like the...
There's a runner's high.
Yeah, I felt really good. Like, I was telling a lot of people, too. I'm like, I fucking did it. I
It's
ran a
exhilarating.
mile. And a lot of people were like, oh, yeah, that's cool. But then other people were like, there's no way I could fucking do that, you know?
That's what I thought.
So,
Well,
which
I've
is
been
cool.
thinking a lot lately about people in this day and age, like whatever the fuck you're dealing with, right? You're not ready for like life if you're not like training your fucking body, training some combat, training like some stuff, right? Because if the world goes to shit and you really have to fend for yourself and fight for your fucking family, like most people, like big guys like us could walk up and just like threaten to slap you and you will give us whatever the fuck we want, right? Like just because you're not ready, right? I mean,
Yeah.
a big fucking dude walks up and is like, I will crush you if you don't give me your shit. You're going to hand over your shit. Now you're fucked.
Well, that's why I'd say, like, I did it just to see if I still could.
Right.
Because if there's a situation where you have to run and you can't, then, like, fuck, man. You're going to feel real hopeless and then you're going to die, you know? Or you could run that mile and then hope that you make it. Hope that whatever threat is there makes
I'm pretty
it,
sure
you
I could
know.
have ran that mile while carrying one of my kids.
Right.
Yeah,
It
you
would have
think
been
so?
slower.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
could have
was-
trotted that.
I was
It probably
wondering
would have
that
been faster
too.
if you had to.
Well, if I had to.
Right.
But, like, legit could have gone
Yeah.
and trotted. Maybe a little bit of walk to catch my breath, but...
It's funny you mentioned that because yesterday I was doing my walks at a different track that was a quarter mile, but it was so it was kind of easier to gauge out. And I was thinking, like, if I had like some farmer's handles, or if I was like carrying a bag on my shoulder or something, I'd probably keep the same exact pace.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it was just regular walk, like maybe like 3.5 miles an hour or something. But I feel like if I had, you know, something with me, like a 50-pound bag or some shit, like I could have kept the same pace and felt exactly the same.
Right.
Or like a empty yoke or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, have it over the shoulders.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
good. That's a good feeling, you know, knowing
Right.
that you could have some shit with you, or at least fend for yourself. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? If you had to run or whatever the fuck, like to catch somebody.
That readiness. Yeah, I put all my stuff in a bag a while ago, and so it was a bunch of ammo, right? And then you just look at it in these little boxes and everything, and you think, oh, it's not that much because you're loading it up box at a time, right? And then I pick up the bag, and I'm like, God damn, like this is like my oh shit bag, you know what I mean? It was packed more than what it would have been, but it's like, you know, it's like I can't really bring as much stuff as I want to, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like a bug out bag or something, you know what I mean? Like that shit would be really hard to carry for like a mile or some shit, or like up a hill, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know, being ready, being prepared. That's something a lot of people think about that. It's not mentioned very much, but a lot of people
Well, how many
like
people
swear
can
by
do a
being ready.
pull-up? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
what happens if
that
you're
too.
hanging off a fucking cliff and you will die if you can't get up that fucking cliff? Like, I'd say a good 95% of people would be dead.
Yeah, probably. I think so.
Like,
You
I
can
mean,
tell by their
and I'm
handshake,
talking
too.
Yeah, you can tell a lot by
Mhm.
a handshake. But like straight hang, like no wall in front of you to maybe scratch your way up, right? Like if you're straight hanging and you have to like muscle up to get up there, it'd be a bitch for me to do. I could do one if I had to, I think, right? But like maybe,
Yeah.
you know, I'm a big fuck too. Like
Yeah.
that'd be hard.
Pulling yourself up's one thing, but muscling over, that's
Right.
a whole different ballgame.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, so I've been thinking you can go up and like get a handle. Yeah, I'd be
You
fine.
just roll
I don't
over,
know.
you bring a leg up or something, but I don't know. That kind of gets you thinking. Like, what if there's something that I had to do? Am I going to be able to do it?
So my
Maybe
whole
more people should
my
think
whole
about
fitness
that.
journey started with the ape caves. There's like
Oh,
a
right.
there's like a
What's
7
that?
to 8 foot wall. It's a lava tunnel up by St. Helens. It's
You never been
spelunking.
there?
No.
You should do
It's
it.
really
It's
cool.
fucking sick.
It's not very far.
It's with like a mile and a half or some shit.
Well, and just from here, it's a
Oh,
What do you do?
45-minute drive.
so it's a lava tunnel, right? It's just a big tube, and so you start like I like starting at the bottom and going up, or you can start at the top and climb down, and you just are like climbing over rocks and shit, just from one side to another, and it's dark as fuck. Like there is no light.
Dark and cold.
Yeah,
We went there without the headlamps one year, and you go down, and there's the sun, bright sun, and it's a big hole about the size of this room. We walk down, and then you get about 10 feet in, and it's dead dark. You can't see
Yeah.
anything
Yeah.
and cold.
You didn't bring the lights.
No, we ended up leaving. Like, it's nothing we can do.
Yeah.
I had no idea it'd get that dark that
but
quick.
it's a lot of cool. It's kind of wet, all that kind of shit. So it's a lot of fun to do. But there's like a 7 or 8 foot wall. So if you go up, there's like an 8 foot wall, and I was like 300 fucking pounds of just fat ass, and I have a backpack on. I'm with this group. I was in charge of the young men. I'm with this group of like from 12 to 18-year-old boys. There's like 11 of us, and I'm like they're all like climbing up this fucking wall, and I'm just like fuck. So like jump up there. I take my backpack off. I threw it up there, and I'm like jumping up there to try to get up. It's not fucking happening. I don't have any power to hold my fat ass up there. There's no way. We had to throw the backpack on. One of the adults had to get down and shove my ass while the kids grabbed the backpack and yanked me up this fucking wall. And I was like, if we were going to die, I'd be dead. That's it, dude.
Yeah.
And I was like fucking super nervous.
And that kind of got you going.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I went back down there, like 3-4 years ago and was just like, rah, like just went up that fucking wall like
Hell
nothing
yeah.
because I was like, fuck this wall,
Yeah.
you know? Like,
Yeah.
So it was pretty interesting, but
Nice, dude.
shit like that you don't think about, you know?
No, you don't. Not as much.
That's what's fun about the strongman, though. It combines just strength with some athleticism.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, just being strong as fuck.
But being
Good
able to
athlete.
accomplish some athleticism with it, too.
Yeah.
Right, because a lot of strongmen can do like a pull up. how many 300-pound fucking bodybuilders can do a pull-up? You know what I mean? Like, well, maybe they can, but like,
I think all of them.
yeah. But I'm just saying, like, a big fucking dude, even if you're strong, being able to actually accomplish a pull-up is fucking nuts. Like
Yeah.
a dead hang pull-up.
Yeah.
None of this kipping bullshit. Yeah. I'm having to untrain that out of all these fucking people. They're like, I can do a pull-up. I'm like, a real one? Like, hang?
A
from-
strict pull.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, like a pull-up. None of this fucking wiggle wham shit that you're going to land on your head with. Like, yeah. Anyways. So, Joey,
Yep.
how's your fucking gym going? And let's hear about this fucking nationals.
So I have Strongman Corp Nationals, which is next Friday, Saturday.
Where's it at?
It's in Erie, Pennsylvania.
Jesus.
So I did USS, United States Strongman Nationals, in June. So it's a different federation. So this one, I'm competing at 200 pounds. And I started my cut 7 days out. So Thursday's my weigh-in, so I started my cut this past Thursday. And I maintain about 222 pounds. So I have to lose 22 pounds to make weight. So first I just cut out carbs and cut out creatine. I've already lost 4 pounds in the last couple of days just doing that. And then as I get closer, I'll cut out all salt. And then I'll cut out water. And then the day of, I'll just sweat out any remaining water weight.
So you kind of just make sure that you're not taking it in, and then the little bit that you just make sure it doesn't have a place to go, right?
Well,
Like-
first I'll increase my salt and water,
Yeah.
and then I'll keep the water high and then take the salt out. So if there's any remaining sodium in my body, it's taken out with the excreting the extra water. And then I'll just immediately cut out the water the next day, so my body keeps urinating because it doesn't know I've stopped the water. So you'll lose several pounds
Right.
just from that. And then the last day, I'll probably have about 4 pounds to lose, and I'll just sweat that out in like an hour.
Have you done Strongman Corp Nationals before?
Yep. So I did Strongman Corp Nationals in Alabama 2 years ago, and I went into it injured. But I already spent all this money to do it, so I just thought I would go anyways. So unfortunately, I zeroed the log because I had a bum shoulder.
Right.
The deadlift was a max deadlift, and I tied for like third or fourth on that. Out of, I think there was 80-something guys, so I did really good in that event. But overall, I placed like middle of the pack at that nationals, so it wasn't my best performance.
And did you compete 105, or were you going in at
That was
90?
also at 200 pounds.
200. So is it 90 or is it 200 pounds? So is it like
sh-
198.4 or 200?
So Strongman Corp is 200 pounds.
Okay.
USS is 90 kilos, 198 pounds.
Okay. I see.
So
That's so silly. Like
Yeah.
those two, man. I like them both. They're both amazing people, Dion and fucking Willie. What?
Willie.
Willie, right? Oh, I thought I said his name wrong. But like, they were together, and so I feel like sometimes they just do shit to be like, well, fuck your shit. You know what I mean? Like the 90-kilogram thing and the 200-pound thing. He's like, no, you got to lose 2 more pounds to be a part of mine. I'm like, come on. You know?
Yeah.
It's silly. Like they do a lot of shit. Like
They got to
back
get on
and
the same
forth.
page, especially so like if people want to do competitions for that are like just maybe a couple weeks apart. You know what I mean? Like there was USS Nationals and also like the Rainier. So like Strongman Corp and then USS. And so, and around here we just kind of take what we can get, you know what I mean? Because it's not like there's one like every month usually. So I think and like Lance, you know what I mean? Like it's easy for 231 for some people, and then like going to 220, it's like a completely different process. I think they gotta maybe get I don't know. I think it'd be a good idea. I think it should just be 105 under and over for the most part.
That's how it used to be a long time ago.
Yeah.
And now that it's getting more popular, they need more weight classes.
Right.
But they should be universal. So
They should be, yeah.
Should just be like every 10 or 15 kilos should be weight class.
So I agree with that because I think that over-under thing, that was bullshit. Because
so?
for me, I'm from 231 to 300. Well, that's fucked up. I always end up in the middle of that shit.
231 to anything. You'd be 425 pounds.
Well, no, because it was 300. Anything over 300 was super heavy.
Oh.
So then, so I was from like 231 to 300, and I'm coming in at like 275. And so anyone who's like, you could potentially have like a 25-pound weight advantage on me. You know what I mean? And then dropping to 231, that's a fucking big drop from 275. So I either have to like pack on and just be kind of fat for 300, like to be as close to 300 as possible, or I got to lose all this weight and be fucking shredded.
Yeah.
Like,
I think that's dope. I like that. Like the Rainier, I competed against a guy that was 425 pounds.
Right.
And I was like 280 or some shit.
Okay.
And some people were talking about like, oh, I'm only this much, and it's like, well, it's what you signed up for. So.
Right. I'm not saying I'm not cool with it, but I'm saying that it should be at least a little closer. Give me 50 pounds in between each one, sure.
Yeah.
Not fucking 70. That was crazy.
Right.
Based on muscle mass, the weight classes make it more fair.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, a lot of the guys that compete at 231, they walk around at like 250, 260.
Yeah.
And then they water cut to 230.
Yeah, it's when it gets to like, so I like having a 90 kilo there too. Just because, you know, there are some people's statures that are kind of more built for 90 kilo, I guess, you know what I mean? And I think having like those multiple weight classes for like nationals or worlds or something, you know what I mean? Worlds being like OSG. I like the multiple weight classes. I think that's cool. Especially for like the females too, you know what I mean? So that it's not like a gal that's like 130 pounds against, you know, like Andrea Thompson or some shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like spread it up a little bit. And it just sounds cool, like 90 kilo national champion, you know, or world champion, got the 105 and then the open weight, you know what I mean? But I think local shows, a lot of the time, it's kind of too much because you want more than like 3 or 4 people in your weight class, you know what I mean? I think so.
Yeah, so I guess that's why they probably did it before, because even from 230 to 300, I'd still have, there's like 4 of us.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a big fucking chunk, and there's people all over the board in there, which kind of sucked, because, I mean, what was it like fucking at hardcore? There was 2 of us in my weight class. The heavyweight number 2. There's 2 of us.
Yeah,
I
and it
took
was,
first place, and they wouldn't even count it because there wasn't enough people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then you won't qualify for, you know, what you've been working for. So like you've been going through this prep and you've got like a reward on your mind, you know, or a qualification, and then it's all subjective to the amount of people that sign up.
Right.
But it's that one was really silly too. That's kind of what, because that was like my first time ever seeing a show and participating in one, and there was a heavyweight, and then heavyweight 2, and then super heavyweight. And it's like, what's the deal with that? You know what I mean? And the weights are like really similar to each other too.
So they've done away with that.
Yeah.
So it used to be 2 middleweights and 2 heavyweight classes. Now
Right.
They just made them separate.
Right. Yeah, I think that's the way to go.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Do you find you lose any strength by cutting that much? That's something I always worry about in going in cuts, and I like to cut kind of slow over a long period of time, and then try to be in a calorie surplus leading into comp.
Yeah.
Just because I get nervous that I'm going to be like not as strong, like I'm losing all my muscle mass.
Yeah, so you want to keep your calories high and just cut out you just want to lose water weight, you don't want to lose muscle weight. So I still keep my protein high. My protein fat stays the same, I just cut out the carbs.
So kind of like a mini recomp, and just kind of make sure that the glycogen kind of depletes.
Yeah, so you store about 3 grams of water per every gram of glycogen, and glycogen is your storage of muscle carbohydrate. And then your creatine as well, you store water with that, and then salt retains water. So if you can just deplete your body of glycogen, creatine, and salt, you're going to lose a lot of water weight. So 20 pounds of water weight, a gallon of water is about 8 pounds, so that's about 2.5 gallons of water that I'm going to lose.
Fuck.
And you know, your body is a high percentage of water.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be 10% of my body weight. So I don't recommend doing any more than 10%.
That's kind of like you're already maxing out.
Yeah, then you're definitely going to lose strength and performance. So my first big cut I did for Alabama a couple years ago, that I did not do correctly. So I did notice a big decrease in performance.
Mhm.
So I fasted the day before.
Oh, wow.
And so fasting, no food, no water. And then my flight got changed
shit.
to it was an overnight flight. And so I didn't sleep or eat or drink for, it was like 30 something hours.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
I think that definitely,
Wow.
Oh, that
affected my
stress
performance.
and that cortisol and everything mixed
Yeah.
with all that cutting was probably not good.
Yeah, so now I make sure ways to fly in a day early
Yeah.
for the competition.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, okay. How do you feel about the blood draw shit?
I've
On
never
those
tried
cuts.
it.
That's pretty fucking dangerous,
To
right?
cut weight?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
like suck like a pint of fucking blood out of you, and then they'll shove it back in day of competition, and fucking, it's almost like a form of like juice,
Blood doping.
blood doping.
So a lot of like endurance athletes do that to increase their EPO as well.
Yeah. So I heard it's actually getting kind of big in powerlifting too. Like they're fucking trying to do it, but because there's no way to like check for that, is there?
I don't know.
What's EPO?
It has to do with your red blood cells. I can't think of exactly what it.
So you said it decreases it?
Increases.
Increases it.
So red blood cells are what bring oxygen to your fucking body, right? Or to
Yeah.
your heart.
Yeah, it's the
So
delivery system.
so the more you
Yeah.
have, the easier, like especially endurance.
Yeah.
Like, the more you're gonna have.
So it's erythropoietin is what EPO is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it increases
It
that.
regulates your red blood cell production.
Oh, that makes
See.
sense.
Yeah, that's
Right.
pretty dope.
Well, it's crazy because I heard of a couple dudes doing like 2-3 pints, man, like getting fucking dangerous.
Really?
And then they're like, I think they're only shoving 1 or 2 back in, but like, that's scary, bro. Like, because
Yeah.
blood's heavy as fuck. Like, and that would help with your cut, especially if you're just a little off or whatever. But like, that don't make you nervous, you know? Like you're pulling your fucking blood out of your body, and then shoving it back in. Like, can you not? That's fucking
Yeah.
crazy.
So I donate blood every so often,
Right.
just to lower my red blood cell count and everything. Last time I did it, they like shoved part of it back in, but it wasn't like the red blood cell. Like they separated part of it, like
So
the
you-
plasma or some shit.
So you did the double red blood cell. So they take out the red blood cell and then put your
I think so. I did the wrong
hooked
one.
up to the machine.
Yeah, and it took like way longer than the first. I'm like, this one's taking longer, and then it fucking starts going back in me, and I'm like, something's.
It feels
It's all
cold.
cold, yeah.
Yeah.
It's cold, yeah, and I'm like, oh, I don't know what's going on, but I feel like it didn't. I feel like it wasn't as effective. You know what I mean? It's
That
like
would-
I just want it out. You know what I mean?
That would take
And
out
then-
twice as much red blood cells.
Yeah.
So if you want to decrease your hematocrit and hemoglobin, that would be more.
That's the way to go.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what's the purpose of that?
When your hematocrit and hemoglobin and red blood cell count, just in general, gets too high, you gotta get rid of some of that stuff.
Huh.
So they keep using really big words. Basically, you're not supposed to have a ton of red blood cells, and
So-
juicing and shit puts way too much in there.
So
Gotcha.
too much.
So you have to.
too
I
much-
have too much, and I'm giving it to somebody else
Yeah.
who doesn't have enough.
Too much
Like, is
red
this something I need
blood
to be worried
cells,
about?
Your blood would be too thick.
Yeah.
So you don't want your blood too thick.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
So that's why you.
It just, I mean, it gets clotted up, all that other bullshit. Any artery clogs or anything, just you're more at risk.
Yeah, I feel so much better after I do it too. I mean, I don't
gotta
really
do it
take any
again.
compounds that are gonna like really thicken me up like that. It does happen over time, but like, so like for performance, you actually want it a little bit above the normal reference range, usually, just like a little bit. But too much, then like my work capacity starts to go way down, and like my breathing changes a little bit. So like, even if I'm kind of in the normal, even though I should be a little bit higher, I feel way better because I can get more work done in the gym. You know what I mean? My breathing's more under control, my recovery's better and shit. So I think it's something to practice that a lot of people should practice if they're not.
Yeah, most athletes have slightly higher hemoglobin hematocrit because they make more red blood cells.
Yeah,
So it is.
And diet, too, yeah.
Advantageous.
yeah, you do want it a little bit above, and I try and keep it a little bit above. But I've been going by feel for that kind of stuff more than like my health markers, like on paper. Because feel is really important too. You know what I mean? Like a paper can tell you certain things, but like for what we do, you know what I mean? Like you got to kind of listen to your body a little bit too. rather than just what's on.
Well, I think you're
pa-
right
paper.
in some aspects, but like other aspects, like if he's saying it's pulling double out, which is better for you and putting your blood back in. I mean, even if you don't feel better from it, if the benefit's almost double, I would go for that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it just however you feel, you're going to feel better later, anyways. But
Well,
I think
Maybe
that
it's
was
not
just kind of a
immediate.
one-off. Like, I didn't feel better on that. Maybe it was just like a mental thing because I thought like,
I think mental has a lot to
yeah,
do
I
with
think
it.
I'm like, oh, it's going back in me, or whatever. So,
I didn't do the right thing.
Exactly. I think it was just kind of like a one-off, like mental thing, but it probably did help.
so you should also check your iron, your ferritin,
Yeah.
because if you're donating blood, that's also getting removed from your body.
Right.
So if your ferritin's low, you don't want to donate blood, because even if your hemoglobin's high, that's also going to be negative, getting too low ferritin.
Yeah.
So,
So-
my suggestion is have someone like Joey coach you. Because what I'm saying, like, the reason I feel so bad is because, like, dude, we went over fucking every piece of me and refined how to do everything. I'm talking from fucking, we're running blood work. I'm doing, what is that thing with the fucking arm thing?
Blood pressure.
pressure.
Yeah, so blood pressure is the silent killer.
Right.
So if your blood's thick, you're gonna have high blood pressure as well.
Right. I mean,
So-
we're like every day I'm running blood pressure. Every day I'm fucking weighing myself. Every day I'm like measuring my whole fucking body. He's got my meal. Like he's got what I'm supposed to be eating written out. Like it was fucking insane. Like it's hard to keep track of. And I did it for like a month, and I felt fucking amazing. And
It's
then I
like
just
superpowers,
stopped.
right?
Right.
The dude,
Well-
like taking care of yourself, that's like the biggest fucking PED there is, I think. Is
Well,
like a good,
there's
a
also
good
a
diet.
difference
Yeah.
of like taking care of yourself, like what you think is taking care of yourself, and having someone professionally be like, if you do this, everything will be fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there's just like there's a huge
Well,
difference.
I was trying to teach you how to fish.
Okay,
you know.
right.
Trying to teach you how I do everything so you can do it.
Right.
Yeah. Like a lot, like I understand a lot of this stuff.
I don't know a
Mo-
lot of
mo-
these big words.
Mostly all of it, you know what I mean? But the thing you got to do is actually like do it though. You know what I mean? Like I used
Right.
to get labs done like once a month, just literally just for fun, just because I wanted to like look at it and study it and see how different things were reacting. I do every 4 weeks. I think I'm probably just gonna do like 3 or 4 times a year now, maybe. But it's like doing it is really important too. It does get kind of expensive though. Like if you
Does,
want to,
yeah.
so like there's like basic panels that you can get, but then like if you want to check the other stuff, like what Joey was talking about, it's like up to $50 per like
Right.
added health marker.
I think it was like by the time I was done with all the blood work tests and all that stuff, it was like $300. I think, and that was like what, like every month or every
Well,
other
you don't
month?
want to test all that stuff every month. I just want to get a baseline.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
So we did a baseline, and then
Yeah.
it was like,
So every month, there's just a few things you have to check,
Okay.
and that's gonna come out to be like.
It's usually $119 for me.
So you don't have to check all that stuff. Like $80, that'll get you all the main things you need to test,
Yeah,
and you should do it about every 12 weeks.
Right.
Would be good.
that's why I'm gonna start like quarterly. I'm gonna start
Yeah.
doing it quarterly.
And there's this new website. It's called Merrick Health,
hmm
and their blood tests are super cheap.
Really?
So you can just pick out what you want to test, and then they go through LabCorp. The one that goes through Quest Labs, I think it's Private MD, something like that.
Yeah, private MD labs.
Yeah, so that one's good as well.
Mhm.
But the Merrick Health is a new one, and it's cheap.
Yeah,
I'll have to
they're
have
but
you
yeah,
show me what I should
but
get tested.
they're
I need to
awesome
do mine
too.
soon.
Like
Right.
they're physicians and or endocrinologists. They're like
that
Re-
LabCorp?
no at Merrick. They're really good and they understand like what we're doing too. You know what I mean? Like they've studied a lot of like athletes that use these.
I gotta
EEGs
find a
and shit.
doctor that doesn't tell me to continuously stop doing steroids. Like that's what I need.
Merrick.
I need someone who's like,
Hit him up at Merrick, dude. I'm telling you.
I know you're not going to stop, and here's a way I can help you with your journey instead of just being like, stop it.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, like you're not helping me here. Like, do you have any experience? Like my doctor right now, there's no experience with athletes who use anything at all. He just thinks I have a problem. Which, sure, yeah, I do. But like, like I don't need you to shove that in my face. Same thing as like fat people don't need to go in there and have you tell them they're fat. They know that. You know what I mean? They know that. They know they need to be healthier. Why don't you just tell me what I need to know? Like, will I die here soon?
How do I minimize my risk?
There we go.
Yeah.
Can we do that?
That's a fucking tough one for the normal practice doctors to understand.
They don't get. They're like, oh, you need to stop
Yeah.
using, and I'm like, well, besides that, you know, like, how do I like work this to where I'm getting the most minimal risk possible? Well, you just got to stop. Well, that's not going to happen. So, like, if we could talk, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
let's have another conversation here because that's not
Yeah.
fucking going to work for me.
My primary care actually denies me some treatment and such because I use steroids. Because it's a controlled substance, right? Is what they say. So they'll actually like deny treatment. Like it was a pain in the ass to try and get scheduled for a sleep study, and then they finally said that they'd do it after they ran some labs and everything came back perfectly fine. My testosterone was fucking jacked, but I told them it was going to be jacked, and then I still haven't heard from them. Apparently, they had me on like the waiting list to hear from the sleep department or whatever, but it's been like 3 months and I haven't heard from them.
No, it takes a while.
You
Yeah.
did do the sleep test, or you're waiting
No, I
to hear
haven't.
back to schedule it?
Waiting to hear back, but like they said right away, you know what I mean, and all this, but
So
they've denied me treatment on a couple of other things before, you know what I mean, because I do that, and they like don't even feel comfortable talking to me and shit, you know what I mean. it's like you know, sleep apnea is pretty that's pretty serious, you know.
Oh yeah,
Like-
I got a machine, and even the CPAP machine I had, they had to retest me because it wasn't doing enough. I have a BiPAP now, so
Yeah.
it doesn't just breathe in; it breathes in and out.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's like I put this machine on myself. I have to like go, and then I put this thing on me, and I blow in and suck out, and then it breathes for me almost all night.
Wow.
That's cool
Yeah.
though, right? You wake up and you're
I
just
feel so much better,
fucking
but at the
awesome.
same time, like when you're sitting here and when you start thinking about breathing, you're like, you don't breathe like that when you sleep. It's like little breaths. Like I had no fucking idea, but I felt like suffocated
yeah.
by this fucking thing because I have to have the whole thing because I'm a mouth breather.
Like breathing wise or like claustrophobic wise?
Claustrophobic wise. I felt like I was suffocating because I wasn't getting enough air. But what ended up happening is I just have to relax and let my body start to sleep. And that is it's just that a little bit amount of air that I need.
Yeah.
Breathe in and out. And I'd say the only other difference is it's fucking cold sometimes. You know, like I sleep with a fan on my face and like,
Yeah.
so with it just blowing right here. Or if my beard, if it comes open, it'll just constantly like just blowing in. And so, like, it's
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
cold as shit, but, yeah. I'm glad I got it done, because I don't know, I mean, I think you remember I fucking wrecked my truck and all that other shit. Like, I was to the point where my body was shutting down. Anytime that I was not standing or walking, like, physically moving, if I sat, I would pass out, like, for, like, 30, 40 seconds.
Yeah,
Because
back
my
to
body,
sleep.
it needed that much, it needed sleep that bad. So, what ended up happening is I did it driving. I was going 70 miles an hour, and apparently everybody came to a stop. I hit a fucking state trooper. I smashed him into the sidewall and then still hit the guy in front of him and crushed the whole front of my fucking truck. Because I was going 70 and they weren't moving.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah, like that's how 30 seconds of sleep will fucking get you. Especially driving. I bought like $3,000 rims for my Mercedes and fell asleep and just rolled them into the curb. Just fucking destroyed them within like 3 days. Because it's like nothing you can do. Like, seriously, I'll be standing there and I don't even see it coming and I'm just out, dude. Like, it was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Now it's serious.
I'm so glad I sleep well.
You should be.
Yeah.
Joe, you got
had
a
a problem with
prediction for nationals? Do you know any competition? You know what it looks like? Do you know where you're
In my
at?
class?
Yeah.
I haven't competed with. Well, a couple of the names look familiar, but I don't know anyone I'm competing with the nationals. OSG that I'm doing in November, I know a lot of names on that list.
Yeah.
So all the past 90 kilo champs will be there. So that's going to be a.
That's
fun
gonna be
competition.
cool though. That's gonna be really
Was Zach back?
McCarley.
Yeah.
Probably no.
So he did the world championship before it was OSG.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's won I think, an Ultimate Strongman 90 kilo championship, which actually that's going on today in Paris.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's fucking cool.
He's a legend. He's one of the OGs.
He's a sweetheart, too. He's a really nice dude.
Cool dude.
It's pretty crazy how fucking nice most of these gigantors are.
Mhm.
You know, and he's a little ass dude, but
Yeah.
like, when I met him, he had just won. So this is like fucking, what, like 6-7 years ago?
He spent some
Yeah.
time in 105, too.
And yeah, he's
Yeah.
3-time America's Strongest Man at 105.
Right, so I think it was like a year after he won like his third title or some shit. I meet this guy because I was working out at Inner Beast down in Oregon City with Jeff Pearson. Do you know him? Well, he was my strongman coach at the time, and it was the first one I ever had. And he brought Zach in, and fucking Zach was just shredded, doing like fucking like snatches and shit with like 400 pounds. Like it was fucking crazy to watch this dude.
Yeah, he's a nut.
Yeah.
It was fucking awesome, but cool dude. Really, just very helpful.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah.
He's getting into commentating.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he commentated the Rainier Classic and the OSG Regionals.
Really?
Yeah, he does good, too.
I gotta make it to one of those Rainier Classics, man. That's
Yeah.
what I wrecked my truck on the way there. To not this year, but the year before. I was scheduled to compete.
It's about 9 months out, so
Oh, good.
start your prep.
All right, well, let's do it. I do need a competition in the books, or fucking I won't do anything.
Yeah.
I know that for damn sure. So maybe
I know
I'll
it
just
worked
sign
way
up for
harder
that
when I got one on the horizon.
Yeah.
Or just different, more
Is there
intensity.
any other than the sweater that are coming up? And static? I mean, there's static. If you want to sign up for that, it's in like 2 weeks.
I'm not
though.
ready for a fucking competition
Yeah.
at all.
It's
This is
like-
probably the least strong I've been in fucking 8 years.
Yeah.
Like I honestly took from when I stopped talking to you, that's how long it's been
Yeah.
that I'm like working out 2 or 3 times a month.
Hmm.
Like I'll go to the gym sometimes. Like for a while I was going to the gym and just like fucking around because I knew I wasn't going to be ready. I wasn't dieting. I wasn't doing this. There's just too much going on, and so like I'm just making all these fucking excuses, and it was pretty shit. So since then, what was that like fucking March?
I don't
February, March, something like that. I barely worked out.
Yeah, it's been a
Last
while.
year.
I remember you talking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Or someone was talking. Yeah, because you were getting ready for the Rainier.
yeah,
So
that was
it was like
the big
March.
one. And I signed up for the pro part of it
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted the money. I was like, I'll fucking beat everybody. You were going to be in there too, weren't you?
No, I did the amateur.
Did you?
105, and
Okay.
I won the amateur.
Okay. So now you
So-
have to do the pro?
I don't have to, but I probably will do the pro next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Austin, you doing the pro?
I
You think so?
I did the
I need to
105
sign up for amateur.
so I could get qualified for the Arnold Classic. So I'm going to do the Arnold Classic in March.
Were you surprised that the weights were kind of similar from amateur to pro at the Rainier? Because they were honestly really similar. Wasn't that much of a difference on anything. It was like about 10% more on most of the stuff.
Yeah,
And some of the stuff was the same. Like the truck pull, like I think amateur middleweight and amateur open were the same as the same exact truck and the same exact lane and same exact distance as pro middleweight and pro open. So
Yeah.
you think were you kind of surprised that it was so similar?
10% is a lot in like the circus dumbbell.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
So I think 10% is about right.
because
You know-
that was a high level amateur show too.
I watched the video of that fucking one at Hardcore, and I am so pissed off that you're in front of me, crushing your light ass little fucking circus
Yeah,
dumbbell,
dude.
and I'm behind you just struggling like a
I'm just-
motherfucker.
He's burning my
10 reps.
tires.
He's
and
got
yeah.
like what was yours, like 100 pounds or some shit, and mine
Yeah,
was like up close to 200-pound dumbbell. And I'm like,
110 pounds.
oh,
Yeah.
so sorry. Yeah, but everybody's like, well, so did that guy beat you? No. It's like not even close. He wasn't
No, I
even, he
fucking
wasn't even
smoked
near me.
you, dude.
Like,
Did
that's
you
fucking
see it?
bullshit.
Yeah, same weight, same
Yeah,
exact
I was,
weight.
I honestly didn't even notice you because I was on
Yeah.
my shit. But then I go back to watch the video, and like they're like, "Come on, Tyler," and you're right here in the video. Like I'm in the back over here. And you're just
Just a steady cadence.
just like fuck you, man. I'm like, get out of my fucking shot. Like, anyways, I was so pissed, but we made it to the dumbbell at the same time.
Yeah.
You just crushed like 8 of them.
Yeah.
Well, you did particularly well with that dumbbell that day, right? Like that was the best
Yeah,
number there, right?
I did good with a good lot of stuff.
Yeah,
I think.
but I
For a
remember
first
that was
comp, that
like-
was fucking dope, dude. For my first comp, that was awesome.
It was a fun competition. It
Yeah.
was. Well,
It was crazy to think that was just like a year ago, a year and some change.
it was.
I
It
remember
was
thinking
fun
that
and it
stood
wasn't.
out,
It was
though.
fucking
The
hot.
dumbbell?
Yeah.
I was the only one that was like, well, there was, I think, one or two more other people, but I think two people placed in front of me, and then one of the guys, and Craig should have known this, but it's evident that he doesn't know any better. One of the guys was using his non-dominant hand and pushing the dumbbell off of his shoulder for every rep.
Oh,
Yeah, and it's like, how can you not call that?
I
You
wish
know what
I
I
would have
mean?
done that.
If I would
If it
have
was
known,
legal,
dude,
it's not
yeah, if
your
I would
fault.
have known, I would have gotten 30 or 40 reps doing that. You know what I mean?
Thanks.
But yeah, I thought that was the dumbbell was cool. A lot of the stuff was cool.
I'd have
It was
been happy
fun.
with one.
Just watching.
But I barely fucking won that one too. Like I won that by the last event. We both won 2 events, and then the last event I beat him by 2 seconds on the Hercules hold.
Yeah.
So I won. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Was he wearing a kilt?
yeah, he was Nick something. But
Yeah.
I still talk to him now because then that was the thing too. Like for squats, he knew already. There's no fucking way you're not. He did like 3. And I just like yanked out 8 to prove a point.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
fuck yeah.
Second to last event's grip. Just fucking send
Yeah.
it. You know.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully next year it's not going to be the same weekend as the Rainier Classic.
The hardcore one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was so silly.
Well, I think he kind of was making a point. I know he's mad at that whole organization, Dion and that whole thing. I don't know if he's mad at Dion in particular, but I know he's pissed at NAS, and I feel like that was him trying to prove a point. The hard part is you can't prove a point with such a big fucking event. You got pros at this fucking event. Rob Kearney's going to be there. Like, you got like so many fucking people that just like are going to draw just a normal crowd to watch. Not to
Yeah,
mention
like-
all the
like
fucking strongmen
spectator-wise,
who want to be
yeah.
there, right? Like
Exactly.
spectator-wise for sure. Like, but you're also yanking in strongmen who would skip your event just to go watch this one.
I think the Rainier is going to be a lot better this year because was 2021 the first year that they did it?
Yeah.
So this was just their second one.
Yeah.
So 2021 was going to be a lot better, but there was like flight restrictions and travel restrictions and shit. So like there was a few Canadians that were supposed to, like Maxime Boudreau was going to be there and like some other big names and shit. And it was going to be really cool. You know what I mean? And then they weren't able to come, so I think that kind of blew the image of it. You know what I mean?
Haley Dagley was going to be there too. Is that her name?
Something there was a really cool roster, and then this year it was all. I don't think there was anybody competing internationally, but there was a lot of big names there, like Aaron Murray, Jody Kennedy, Nez, and then for the guys, there's some people that are like having big names now. You know what I mean? Like what's his name, Tim Buck or something.
Mm-hmm.
Tim Buck,
Yeah.
and then that professor guy. Hatfield's probably going to do it next year, I think. So I think next year it's going to be pretty fucking wild.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm definitely not doing the pro
9
next
months,
year.
yeah. Why not?
Fuck, dude.
That sounded like the pussiest fucking statement I've heard in this room. So
Yeah, but did you hear the lineup?
So
The potential
what?
lineup?
Do you want to be the strongest man in the world?
Not next year. Eventually.
Makes me sad.
Yeah.
So, training over here. No, seriously, like
Yeah.
so training with all these people over there at this new gym,
Yeah.
you really do realize that like some of these people who are like, oh yeah, I'm like the strongest guy in the gym. Like the dude who owns it,
Yeah.
he's like one of the strongest guys there. His deadlift's like 550, and I'm like, ooh, like there's a huge difference being around people that fucking like you go to hardcore, you walk in, someone's smashing out 700 fucking pounds on deadlift, and that's their second set. You know what I mean? Like being around those types of people, competing against those types of people really gets you a lot further than just being complacent or
Yeah.
just, you know what I mean? Being like, well, when I get strong enough, I'll fucking do it, right? So I know that when I was training for my first competition, I wanted to do strongman, right? And I wanted to do some sort of competition, but I was like, what weights do I have to hit in order to compete?
Yeah.
And he's like, fucking compete, dude. Like you have to get your reps in competition.
Yeah.
You have to figure out how that fucking goes. Do you want to figure that out when like you want to wait until your lifts are there and then figure that shit out, or get your shit in there while you're lifting, right? While you're not ready. And it's fucking sick to compete against these people you know are gonna fucking crush you.
And the more time that you put off, like training for it and then showing up in front of a crowd, the more time you put off, the more nervous you're gonna get for the first time you do it. You know what I mean?
Well, I also think that
Right.
competing against people,
I think so.
when you know that like this dude deadlifts like fucking 900 pounds and you're in the sevens, right? Well, he's going to beat me in that unless I fucking catch up, right? There's a big difference trying to catch someone who's deadlifting 9 and when you're at 7 than just trying to beat the dude who's barely at 8. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You train
Strategy,
different. You're
yeah.
getting ready for these competitions different. Like there's that mentality of like, I must fucking destroy
It's like a
everyone.
tangible goal almost. You know what I mean?
No, the intangibles are more fun.
Intangible.
Is that the right word I'm using? The
I don't
almost
know. You can feel
unattainable.
it though, dude. You can feel the goal better. You know what I mean?
Right, but like I want those unattainable goals. Those force me to do what I never thought I could.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like those goals that are just like everybody else is like, dude, there's no fucking way. Well, somebody's beating that guy's ass. Why not?
And I think that's what benefited me by doing a comp last year and then being at hardcore is all of a sudden you're around what used to seem unattainable when you're going to 24-hour Platinum Fitness.
Right.
It's like, you know, a 300-pound bench, I didn't think I'd ever really hit it, and I'm blowing through it now. And being at hard, just like the deadlifts, and then you go to comp and you get surrounded by the Joeys at my weight class. You're like, okay, like, you know, slowly like starting to build that weight, and it doesn't seem unattainable anymore to do some big numbers. Where when
Right.
you are who you surround yourself by, right? Like if you're just doing sets of 10, 3 sets of 10, and moving on to the next thing, it's like, no, there's form, there's technique, there's consistency, discipline, and just getting all that stuff in and being around the people that are hitting those numbers gets you like, okay, I can do this.
Right.
And then you start shooting for it instead of limiting
Yeah.
yourself with,
Well, it's also like the people who are training doing sets of 10, that's fine as long as 9 and 10 are fucking hard as shit, right? If you're doing a set of 10 and you're just doing your sets, if
Yeah.
you're not struggling, what the fuck are you doing this for, right? Like fucking 7 through 10 should be hard, right? You should barely be getting 10 up. That's training for fucking strength. That's really getting competition worthy.
Who's doing 10 reps?
I do 10 reps to sculpt out my titties usually,
Oh, yeah.
just because I want them not hangy.
To get sculpted.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear
Yeah.
that.
Well, so at the same time, sometimes having that bigness, I actually chest a lot. I don't train chest for competition. I train chest for the competition I'm in, right? So I'm not training to get
Yeah.
stronger in a bench. I'm training to get a bigger fucking chest so I can hold shit up better.
Counterweight, that shelf.
Shelf is really
Shelf.
most of my shit. Like
Yeah.
like the fucking Conan's wheel, having that shit up there, that helps. Having titties, right? Fucking log press, axle press, all
running
that
with the
shit.
sandbags. I noticed that, like being able to set it there, instead
Yeah.
of it just crushing right, you know, under my sternum.
Yeah.
I can breathe a lot better when it's set up higher.
Well,
Big
having
time.
that big ass muscle on you is super helpful. Like a yoke. When I had no traps, that shit fucking hurt. You know, like now, like you get traps on there, you
Yeah.
got something to set it on, right? Like,
Not just resting on your skeleton. It's
Right.
You got a fucking foundation.
so I think there's definitely room for fucking sets of 10 for sure.
Yeah.
But I feel like when I always have like my main lift, my fucking power accessory, and then I have my fucking accessories, right? Where I'm just trying to figure out how to get that muscle stronger in different aspects. Like fucking abductors and adductors. You know, like how the fuck are you supposed to hit those? You know, now I'm having to try and figure out how to do it with a rubber band. 'Cause we
Yeah.
don't have a machine, and I'm like,
You
fuck.
see people doing that? How you can set up the band and then kind of fucking put it on a rack and crawl out and start doing some of those.
Well, what we're actually doing is just like sticking it around your fucking ankle and pulling it in or
Oh.
pulling it out. Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not crazy hard. You
I
step
guess you
inside
can do
of
that.
the
I guess you
band.
don't need to get on the ground and
Right, like I'm
be
not
all
trying to
fucking
make it
weird
as
about
difficult
it. Yeah.
as possible. I'm just trying to get it done, and it works. But it's shit like that you can't work out. Like GHRs, like nothing has ever hit my fucking hamstrings like a GHR does. Nothing,
Right.
nothing at all. And trying to figure out how to do that body weight, like without a machine, is a bitch. Like we're gonna figure that out on Tuesday. What are we gonna do? Someone's gonna have to hold ankles while you're trying to do that shit. Like that's
Yeah.
where we're at, you know. But fuck it. You're not going to get, your deadlift and squat are going to get 100 times better. You get good GHRs. If you can do 10 of those,
Oh yeah.
fucking just do 10. Like 3 sets of 10, you're fucking,
Yeah.
100 pounds on each of those. I guarantee it, man.
Did them yesterday.
Yeah.
First time in a long time.
They're
One
my
of the first times
favorite.
ever.
I don't think we do enough of them.
No.
I think they're awesome.
I put those as my body weight accessory every deadlift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back day, whatever the fuck you want to call
First set felt easy. By the third, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Catching up a little bit here.
it. Are you doing them all the way up?
I think so. Probably have someone check me.
Like, are you
Doing
like are you
Nordic
just
style,
pulling-
or are you doing GHRs?
GHR,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
You were there yesterday when I was doing them.
Are you on that the machine where
must
you
have
hook in
missed
your
it.
feet?
Yeah.
The pads are on your thighs.
Yeah.
And then are you going down and just coming up to here?
No, I was
or are
going-
you pulling all the way up?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. You're doing them right.
Maybe not totally straight up, but
Well, yeah, enough
pretty
to,
close.
Yeah, there's no reason to. That's just balance after that.
Yeah.
Once you get past.
now it's coming up for
Cool.
sure.
Because everybody says they're doing GHRs. I'm like, you're doing back extensions. You're just
No,
like,
I was coming up and I felt it. And
Yeah, they
Felt
buck
it
you
in
up.
hams. Yeah.
Buck you up hard.
Mm-hmm.
I got to start training at hardcore again in the mornings or some shit. That way I can train.
that's when I'm there.
Separately from
Yeah.
the class, from the
Right.
students.
Well,
You know what I mean?
because the thing is, I mean, I also it was one of the things the owner, he's like the main coach. He's like, and just so you know, like we had a coaches meeting. He's like, I want everybody to please continue to work out and look the part. And he like looks right at me. He's like, you need to look the part if you're going to be training. I'm like, all right, but can you chill the fuck out for a minute? Like once you get big, it's kind of easy to get back, but once you
Oh, yeah.
actually sit down and fucking do it. But I got to get back because I could be training a class having dudes bigger than me in that fucking class. You know, I'm like showing them how to do we had a rope and I clipped on 2 fucking 150-pound sandbags and we're dragging them. And I'm like, yeah, just like this. And I like got in the motion and I'm like pulling and I pulled it a little bit. I'm like that. You know, like, yeah, now you do it 3 times.
Yeah.
You know, like this stuff.
Nice.
That's
Yeah,
not
it might
fucking
be
cool.
nice for you to go to hardcore because you might eventually start looking at your other gym as like the place that you go for kickboxing and the place that you go for work. You know what I mean? So it might be kind of like a different mentality.
Right, and it is definitely, I need to be ready for competitions, but I also feel like, would that be kind of unfair? You know, where I'm like training at a place where I have literally everything. What does hardcore not fucking have to get you strong, right? Like I haven't found, is there a machine, you're like an expert, is there something that hardcore doesn't have
Don't
that
have a
you would
Fingles
like to
finger
have?
anymore.
I think it's
They have everything that I need.
Yeah.
He was like adamant about not letting anybody touch that fucking thing.
Yeah.
So I don't care that
I
it's
know.
not there.
Yeah,
Can
no,
you get
I
there in
think
the
that's
mornings?
What time are you there? Like 5?
I get there at 4:30, but
I can do that. Yeah, I mean,
me
I
and 2
I
other
need to
guys,
start.
Mason and Stuart, and Joey's there most of the days too. But there's 2 other guys I work out with
Okay,
almost especially Stuart. He's there with me.
I can start doing
4 days a
4:30.
week.
So the biggest issue I'm having is the divorce, right? So I got both my kids Monday through Friday, or actually Sunday night through Friday afternoon. So like, they live with me that time. So I got to leave at like fucking 4 in the morning and just leave them by themselves
How old are they?
until I get back there. 14 and 10.
Okay, that's what
So
I do.
that's what I'm saying. So like, I don't think it'd be a huge issue. I am still a little uncomfortable with
I
it.
leave my 14-year-old and 12-year-old home alone.
Really?
They're-
Kids almost the same age? Which one are they? Are they boys and girl or what?
2 girls.
2 girls.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, my wife comes with me. And they're still asleep and get back. My 14-year-old sometimes is awake and starts getting ready for school.
Right, because he wakes up at 7.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'll probably be back before then, right? What time do you guys finish up?
I got to finish by about 6:45 to take her to school.
Okay.
She gonna do the plane pull with us?
She wants to.
Mm-hmm. That'd be cool, dude. That'd be really
Yeah.
cool. If we have the 14-year-old or the 12-year-old?
14.
The
They both
taller
probably
one,
would, but
taller
yeah.
one, right?
Yeah.
yeah. She's
Yeah.
pretty into it, huh?
She thought it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
That'd
she's
be
strong too.
That'd be sweet
For her
dude.
size.
If we had a freaking, she'd be 15, the 15-year-old fucking little girl on
Yeah.
our team, and we just blow it out of the water. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, my son wants to start lifting too. He's been going to the gym since summer. So he's the 14-year-old.
Okay.
And he's actually lost like 40 fucking pounds this summer.
Nice.
And now he's playing soccer too, so he's losing more. But this fucking kid's gonna be a monster. He's,
Oh, yeah.
He's 14. He's like 6'2". Like, he's fucking huge. Wow. Kid.
Yeah, he's a stud, man. Get him lifting while he's still like husky too.
I had him competing at like 8, He
Yeah.
pulled like 202 fucking pounds at deadlifts for Dornbecker.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I've heard
so
you
like
mention that
he was
before.
fucking getting strong as shit.
Right.
And then but it was hard. He's 8.
Mm.
Right? Like, I mean, I'm in there like, fucking pick it up. He's like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
Right? It's like fucking 4 in the morning.
Thinking
Like,
about playing Xbox and shit.
I have a video when we went from Golden Age Iron, we went over to not Generation Iron or Strength.
Strength.
Not fucking douchebags, Jim. I dislike him just because he was a fucking asshole to me for no reason. I don't think we've ever had a full conversation.
Bridgeford.
Yeah, and he's just always been a prick. Like, I
heard
don't get
he's
it.
a huge fucking douchebag. That's just what I've heard. I've never met him.
That's what I'm
but-
saying. Like I've met him in person, and he just seems super egotistical. But just it's fun to watch someone like that live their life and just get shit on. So I'm excited that he keeps steroiding up his girlfriends, and then they're like, "I'm going to leave you for an actual coach," and like they keep doing that. But anyways,
I love it.
but anyway, so yeah, there was that. There's a video of me, my ex-wife, and my son, and my daughter, because we got to bring the little girl. Like she was like 6 at the time. Yeah, she was like 6, so we had to bring her, and she's just like sleeping in the fucking corner. But we're all there squatting in the morning, like
Yeah.
we were running it, dude. It was pretty fucking sick. But that was like the first coaching I ever did with my son.
That's cool.
And there's a picture of he took gold at deadlift for Dornbeckers for the kids division.
Oh, yeah, dude. Cool.
Yeah, I'm behind him. Like I was like, there's always a deadlift spotter. I'm like, fuck off. This is my kid. Like I got him. Don't worry about it. It was fucking sick. You can see him. He's just like, little 8-year-old face.
Yeah,
and
that
I'm behind him,
8-year-old
just
grind.
like, yeah.
That makes for a good picture.
Yeah. So I'm gonna get him in. Probably training at Forge for right now until I see that he actually gives a shit. I don't want. So that's the hard part too. Is do I want to be training someone while I'm training? I want to go in there for me right now. I need to get fucking strong and huge, and it is also hard with my kid.
It's
Have
really
him hit arm
frustrating for
day,
me.
dude. Yeah.
Right, because I'm just like, pick it up. Like, you're fucking wasting my fucking time here, Like,
And you don't
especially
want to
when
have
it's
to be
your
there with
kid.
someone that doesn't want to be there while
Right.
you're trying to get that
Dude,
mentality
at that
going.
age though, even if he just maxes out on bench press every day and hits some curls, he's gonna.
Well,
just
see, you
fucking
gotta
blow
understand,
up.
like kids, though, right? Especially when they're yours. Like, it's like, I know you're being a lazy fuck right now. Will you stop it? Like, all the time, he's just lazy as shit. And he's like, why do people, like, I always tell him, stop acting stupid. He's like, why are you so mean to me? Because you're lazy as fuck, and you, like, push it off as stupidity. You're making people think you're stupid.
Oh, plays dumb because it was
Yeah.
going to do something.
Yeah.
I
Is it-
fucking hate that, dude.
Oh, I didn't think that's what you meant. Really? Really? Like, because we, like, peeled a bunch of fucking apples from my tree, and we're like, hey, go dump that in, like, the back corner of the yard because they were bad. Because we just didn't get to them. We had, like, fucking 40 pounds of apples, and we didn't get to these ones. I'm like, hey, go dump them in the very back of the yard. The fucking animals will get them. So he steps outside and just dumps them right out the back door. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh, you meant, like, all the way in the back? No, jackass, like, right where we stand. That's where I wanted them. What the fuck's wrong with you? You know what I mean? Like, oh, well, I didn't know you knew what I fucking meant. You're just a lazy shit. You want to go back and sit in your room again. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck, man?
Well, in kids, you'll have some pet peeves that other people won't even notice.
Right.
But just because you see it 10 times a day.
I had,
You want to be at the gym, be able just to focus.
Do you know who Kaylee is? Kaylee, she was dating Tony Montgomery forever. I keep forgetting her fucking last name. But she's
No
she's
idea.
a sweetheart of a chick. She was a powerlifter for a long time. She owns, like, a fucking sweet shop. She owns Strength Union. I don't know if you know where that is.
Well, not anymore.
Right, she just sold it to fucking dude, right? But so she's a sweetheart. We're in there, we're all lifting, and my kid's in there. I'm having an axle deadlift, right? And I'm like, no, you gotta grab. Like, I'm getting irritated because he's just not fucking listening to me about switch grip. You have to overreach, right, so that you can lock it in. And he's just like this. I'm like, no, you're not gonna be able to pick it up. She comes over, she's like, I don't think you need to be so mean to your son. I'm like, this is my fucking kid, right? Like,
Yeah.
And that's one of those points where you're like, you're not his parent, so you don't understand he's just being irritating because he's not fucking listening. Not because he shouldn't be in here or this is too much for him. I've seen him lift more than this.
Right.
He's just not listening to what I'm fucking saying, and he's getting irritated, so now we're both irritated.
No, I think it's fine. And I think, because if somebody were to talk to your kid like that, you would go in, like, defense mode, right?
Right, of course.
You're the only one that talks to him like that.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
It is what it is.
It's good.
Well,
I
it's
think
also
good.
hard, like, as a parent, if I were somewhere and someone was just fucking berating their child like that, I'd probably get a little upset as well, you know? Like I mean, so it's a hard, like, do I want to defend this just defenseless child? Or, like, do I need to understand that that's their kid? Like, if you're over there slapping your child, yeah, I'm going to get fucking mad about it, right? But, like, I have to try and chill a little bit knowing that I have children. She doesn't have any kids, right? So seeing me kind of be upset with him for not listening, I feel like if you don't have children, it's kind of hard to understand that point, right? Like there are points where some people get upset. Like my son will crack his knuckles, and I get furious. And the reason is because if you're sitting there and you go crack, crack with both hands, right? I don't care. But he can crack every fucking knuckle in his hand. All of them. Both hands. Crack, 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 crack. Like for fucking
so it's
3 minutes.
15 in a row.
Yeah, and I'm just like, okay, shut the fuck up. Crack your knuckles and be done.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. Now he's cracking his elbow and his neck and his shoulder. I'm like, you learned these fucking things because it irritates me.
Too,
right,
yeah.
like, so they're like, oh, he's just cracking his knuckles. No, he's cracking every fucking knuckle. Every joint he has that exists. He's
6 times a day.
Yeah. Right, like... And it's just like at the stupidest times. And it's always like, I'm like, all right, you know what, dude? Just be quiet, sit in the car, we're on the way. Like, I'm already irritated, and then I just hear knuckles cracking. I'm like, you little shit. Like, you're just trying to piss me off right now is what you're doing. Well, I'm just cracking my... I didn't know that you could hear me do... Oh, my God. Sometimes you just want a little cup of little rocks that you can throw at people. You know what I mean?
A little cup of rocks, that'd be fucking
a little
sick,
cup
dude.
of like even like the fucking what I really want is those fucking
just like
aquarium rocks.
Yeah, it was like marbles.
Those no, not even marble. I don't want this to hurt. I want you to just know I threw a little rock at you.
Yeah.
Like you can't even be mad the aquarium rocks that you put in fish tanks.
Yeah.
You just fucking ding somebody with one of those and they're like, the fuck? Like it didn't hurt. You can't get mad. I just need you to know I'm throwing a rock at you.
It's just a message.
You can't
Right,
get mad.
right. Like I would sit there with a fucking cup full of them in my car too, just be dinking people. I
Yeah.
love it. I want to create have a magnet with a big spring that at the top says like I'm a piece of shit, and so I can like throw them at people's cars as we drive around. So it just like
Little messages on them.
yeah, it's just like flinging back and forth, and people are like, "What the fuck?" They get close enough, it says I'm a piece of shit, and they're like, "Ha ha, that guy sucks." You know what I mean? That's what I'm at.
What'd you do for your training this week?
Mostly trained what I was training other people.
So
I trained 2 times this week strength, and then 2 times kickboxing.
nice.
That's all I got in. And then Saturday. So the other part is too. Until November, I'm also coaching 2 soccer teams.
Yeah.
So for fucking 2 hours a day, 4 days a week, I'm coaching, and then another 4 hours we have games. Because each game's like an hour and a half. You got to get there half an hour early, get them warm, like all this other bullshit. So for like fucking what is that like? It's a lot of hours.
Yeah.
You know, like it's.
So you're still pretty in shape. I know you keep saying that you're like not in shape right now, but
I'm
your
in running
capacity
shape.
is still your
I'm playing a
capacity's still
shit
pretty
ton of
good.
soccer. So like
Yeah, you're up and
running a
moving
mile,
around.
I could probably run like 3 fucking miles right now if I'm
Yeah.
being honest with you. But like, I don't want to. Right? I want to be strong. I miss throwing open doors on accident and almost breaking them.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I miss. Like, I don't want my legs to be all sculpted. I don't give a fuck about that. I want to pick shit up.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Exactly.
I mean, and then I'm also like, the next day I'm like hobbling around because I shouldn't have ran that much or I shouldn't have kicked the ball that far, but we scored, so I'm gonna. You know what I mean?
So it works out.
Right.
Yeah, you can bounce back pretty quick. Like
I get strong fast.
Yesterday
I born to do
was
it.
the World Tour Finals, and Ivor Smockstellis, he killed it, and he was like out of shape. You know what I mean, for the past however many months, and then he did one show, the Strongman Champions League, and I think he blew that out of the water. I don't know if you watched that or not.
I didn't see that one.
He did really good, and then he got second place at the World Tour Finals against some pretty good dudes. He was only like 4.5 points or some shit behind Mitch Hooper, and he's like one of the best in the world right now.
And then third's Kevin Ferris.
Yeah, third was Kevin. That was close between Ivers and Kevin. But he came back like super quick. People were saying he was out of shape, and then like 3 months later, he's like literally one of the best in the world on that day. On that day, he was the second best in the world. You know what I mean? So I don't know. People can jump back pretty quick, dude. You'll probably come back better than before. I think.
Well, I'm going to be strong as fuck, and that's the thing too. I'm 32. I'm not concerned. Right?
Well, you're right
I don't even have that fucking old man strength yet.
Yeah, you're right in that like matured, like almost kind of. I don't want to say peak because you never know when you're gonna peak, and you could do this until you're 50 or 60. But
or I could rip the hamstring off my fucking bones.
You could do
and
that
never
too.
Be able to do it again.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, you're right at that age.
I feel better now than at 32.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so yeah.
We started training on your birthday.
Right, February.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you were training, were you bouncing back pretty quick?
As soon as I started training with him, I felt better than I've ever felt in my life, and I knew that if I kept doing this, I would be stronger than I probably ever would be by myself.
And healthier.
And healthier,
Yeah.
right? And like everything would be good because I also wouldn't be. I take quite a bit of juice, right? I do, and I'm just kind of like, that sounds about right. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I fucking gauge shit. I'm like, that doesn't seem crazy, but it seems like enough.
Like with your
right?
drug protocols, that's how you gauge it? Is just,
Yeah.
I think, like, that's enough?
I just high-five me and call that good.
Yeah.
That's really what I do. Because, so, like, and that's
Solid.
the thing, like, to have someone, like, just be like, this is what you need to take. And, like, because sometimes I'd be taking shit that just is offsetting itself, and I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
I don't have the, honestly... I don't have the time to do the research for a lot of that shit. There's a lot of stuff that, in real estate, I have someone else handle my fucking paperwork. I'm a fucking amazing salesman. I get out there and I can sell anybody anything. I don't give a fuck, right? Like, I'm great at it. I'm not good at the paperwork. I can do it. I know how.
Yeah. But
I'm not going to fucking
outsource it, you know what I mean? And save some time.
Right?
You
So,
need to
like,
get with Merrick, dude. I think so. Big time.
well, I need someone like to fucking train me is what I need. I need something written out to where I can just go in the gym and fucking bang shit out. I don't want to sit there for an hour and a half and write my own fucking program. I don't want to sit there and make all my own fucking food for my food. I don't have the fucking time. I got 2 kids. I got a divorce. I'm coaching 2 soccer teams. I'm coaching strongman. I'm doing all this shit. Real estate takes up stupid amount of fucking time. And now I'm also going to be stepping into a role where I'm going to be training and recruiting realtors. Like now I'm upping that fucking game. I'll have even less time. Like, so I'm just like, yeah. Like you're saying like hemoglobins and this and that, and I'm like, I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
What are you taking right now?
600 Masteron, right? I think 600 Masteron, 600 Tren, and 600 Test a week.
666.
I know that sounds. Is that a lot?
That is a lot.
You think that's crazy?
It's a lot.
It's not. It's not crazy.
But there's no safe way to do it, but there's safer ways to do it.
Well, and that's what we were talking about too when you were kind of helping me gauge it, because there's a certain amount. Like what you were telling me was there's an amount that's going to be most effective, and then there's an amount where you're just taking extra risk for nothing.
Well, what you just listed, some of those are definitely going to be like working against each other. Like you have 600 for, and you kind of want to look at what they aromatize into as well. So you have like 600 of something that's going to be estrogen. You have 600 of something that's going to be prolactin. You have 600 of something that's going to be like a DHT derivative. You know what I mean? So
see, and I want to pretend like I know what you were talking about.
So
just
there's 3 family trees.
Right.
So you have the testosterone based family tree, then you have the 19 Nors, which is the trenbolone, and then you have the DHTs, which is the Masteron. So that none of them are overlapping. So that is good. What Brady's saying, I don't understand.
Well, because you said some of them work against each other. So like the Masteron is that's probably not going to work so well with the equal amount of like your estrogen base, like the testosterone, because the Masteron's an aromatase inhibitor.
Testosterone is estrogen based?
Yeah, well, that's what it's going to
confusing.
aromatize
So-
into, is what I'm saying.
if you're getting estrogen side effects, then Masteron would be good.
Yeah. Yeah. But
So
right
I
now,
also am
like
taking
equal
like
parts,
a-
you don't know if that's
but
going to be the
a
best.
half a
for you.
milligram of anastrozole a week. And the reason I don't fuck too much with the anti-estrogens just because I already have fucking gyno, so I don't really give a shit. But I also don't want to die, right? So
Masteron is, it used to be, so the pharmaceutical replacement for Masteron, and this is why you can't get it pharmaceutical anymore because it was replaced, is Arimidex, or anastrozole.
for Masteron?
Yeah. Masteron used to be used for women that needed treatment for breast cancer. It was used as an aromatase inhibitor, and the direct replacement for it was Arimidex. So that's why it's not available through like pharmacies
confusing.
anymore. That's why it's not prescribed. But it is a sometimes a pretty powerful
That's
AI.
a fucking steroid, though. The other one's an oral, isn't it? What?
Yeah, but it's what it'll like convert to as well. Like EQ is the same way too. Like it'll metabolize into 1-diendione, which is an aromatase inhibitor. So it's like what it metabolizes into as well. You know what I mean? So you're
Everyone's-
rocking the same amount of like an AI as you are like test pretty much.
Everyone's different though.
Yeah.
So you'd want to see what your estrogen levels are at.
Right.
If they're fine, then I would say cut out the aromatase inhibitor, the oral Arimidex.
Okay.
That's what you said you're taking?
Yeah,
right?
but I'm taking, like I said, I was taking a half a milligram a week, and it really
'Cause
just kind of.
those fuck up your cholesterol levels.
Oh.
Those are bad for your.
I was also starting to take Clen again on top of it.
Are you trying to lose weight?
I was trying to lose a little bit of just the fat part, get back down to it. But then I'm also thinking like, first of all, I started fucking with my sleep again, so I'm not touching that shit again. That
So
was
yeah, that's a
scary.
stimulant,
That's
so that will fuck with your sleep.
right. So I stopped doing that because anytime I take a good amount of Tren, I start fucking shredding up anyways. So I don't think it's necessary right now. I don't think I need the Clen. If I was just trying to lose weight, maybe I don't know. But I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like I have no fucking idea. I'm just shoving it all in my body.
Merrick would be dope for you to work with because they'll I'm telling you, man. No, seriously, because people are different. Like I react like I'm super sensitive to those AIs. So I was doing equal parts mast and testosterone, right? And actually just today, so I lowered the mast, increased the testosterone, and then threw in a little bit of nandrolone or NPP. So you kind of got to know like what works for your body too, because like that stuff
I
like
feel like you're throwing words at me that I don't understand at all. Like you
No,
got to
you've heard it
understand.
before, you know.
got to understand. I may have heard these words before, but I've done no research whatsoever. I usually am just going off of what people have told me so far
yeah.
and what I feel works in my own body. So I know about 600 tests. I can probably get about 1,200 of it if I'm just doing test. If I was just running test I would probably run like 1,200 of it.
Yeah.
And I
Like
know that's
just
fucking
that alone?
crazy, but that by itself. When I have Tren in me, though, I know that what it does to my fucking mentality. So I try and keep that down, and then I'm just boosting it with test, and the Masteron is just fucking in there because why not? Because I
Yeah.
have a lot of it. to
Are you
be
saying
honest.
600 milligrams of test a week?
Yeah, 600 tests, 600 Tren, and then 600 Masteron.
I would fucking love to do trend
You better be
Why don't you?
careful.
because I just don't have a need to right now.
So what are you saying?
I'm still kind
So
of
Am I
novice.
crazy right now?
So I'm just saying, the safer way would be to do testosterone. Find the amount of testosterone you can do without getting estrogen side effects.
Right.
Because estrogen is still anabolic. You still want estrogen. You don't want to take too much testosterone that your estrogen's too high. So you just want to gradually increase your testosterone where you can find the most you can do. And then I don't recommend the 19-ors, the trenbolone and the nandrolone, because those come with a lot of side effects if you're side effect prone. And then there's some research showing they may be neurotoxic as well.
Neurotoxic.
So
Fucking with your brain?
toxic to your brain, yeah.
Oh. Cool.
So the safer compounds would be Masteron and Primobolan, which are both DHT derivatives. So you find the amount of testosterone you can take without getting estrogen too high, and then you could gradually add either Primobolan or Masteron. If you increase your Primobolan and you're getting estrogen side effects, then you'd want to do Masteron instead.
So
So those are the safer compounds because those all have been used in human research.
Right. So with the estrogen side effects, what am I looking for here? Because I don't feel like I get a lot of side effects like at all. Like when I take even a stupid amount of like test, like I was taking 1200 for a little while, mixing it with fucking D-ball to start out my fucking day, and like it was a lot of shit, right? And I was still like the most I was getting was I was just kind of breaking out on my chest and back, and it was like a zit a day. Like, I'm not even talking just fucking covered like that. Like, what am I looking for when you say my estrogen levels are bad? Like, do I have to get blood work?
You should get
Of
blood
course,
work.
right.
The side effects usually go by feel, though. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like,
so that's what I'm
paper's
saying. I'm
gonna
not
tell you your
feeling
side
a
effects,
crazy
really.
amount of...
So everyone's different. So
Right.
you might get extreme bloating, water retention, which would cause high blood pressure. You might get burning or itching nipples. You might get increased urination frequency or hard to piss.
Okay.
That would be enlarged prostate if it's so that high estrogen will cause that.
I have
as
my
well.
prostate played with a lot. I think it's okay. Yeah.
Good.
So I'd say those are the main things. To
Another
look out
one
for.
with the estrogen too is your cognitive scope, like because like higher estrogen will also prevent like that neurotoxicity as well. And if you so if your estrogen is like lower or tanked, you're gonna feel like trash too. You know what I mean? Like your communication skills, your motor skills, and everything. Like that's gonna probably go down a little bit. Your sleep's gonna go down a little bit, and then like the physical side effects too.
So,
Probably if you're really moody too.
yeah.
So
yeah,
that's the
big
thing
time.
is, so when I'm not doing cycles, I'm moody as fuck. Like, so the hard part is I have the genetic disorder, the gyno, right? So I was born with just a stupid amount of estrogen and a stupid amount of test, just kind of fighting each other to win, and I have nothing that will stop the estrogen from. I have no blocker. There's supposed to be something that stops males from having a certain amount of estrogen, and I don't have that.
Well, there's a negative feedback loop. So normally your testes produce testosterone, and then if your estrogen's too high, they stop producing testosterone.
Right. I don't know.
So we had like the opposite issue then, because your estrogen is like your
It
endogenous
was- so when I was
production
a
is
kid,
too high, and mine's
it was
mine's
way
too
high.
low.
My estrogen level was fucking super high, right? So the only reason they were saying that is because I'm like pretty fucking hairy, and that's testosterone stuff, right? I don't know. I'm just going off of what I've heard so far, right? So I'm very uneducated in this whole scope. I just do, so far I've done what has worked for me. So I started out with like 500 tests a week, right? And that was, what I was told was just double the amount that your normal body would produce. So you're making up the synthetic, which would be about 250, and then you're doubling it to get that steroid effect.
Yeah, most TRT doses are going to be between 100 to 200 milligrams.
Right. So I got on TRT as well, and it was prescribed to me immediately because of the gyno. He's like, yeah, of course. Like, let's even that shit out. Let's make this a little easier for you. So he gave me the TRT, which was 200. The max you're allowed to have is 200. And then he also gave me estrogen blockers, which was the Arimidex. And I was supposed to take like half a milligram every other day for the Arimidex and the 200 a week. So that's what I'm prescribed to take. Now, I was told to go see that guy, right? Because I knew he would give it to me no matter what either way. He just, the easiest way I had guy, right? So
So do you think he was like still a good dude, or do you think he
no,
just
he's also a fucking naturopath, so I don't know how to deal with that either.
just went for the prescription?
I got the
pretty much?
prescription and then I switched doctors.
Yeah.
So
That's what a
Yeah.
lot of people do.
If you want to go to an expert, you want to see an endocrinologist because that is hormones is what they study. So that's how I got started. Is I went and saw an endocrinologist.
okay. So I need to because I need to figure out like, well, I also would like an endocrinologist, if I said that right, that isn't going to be a fucking prick about it either. You know what I mean? Like, where do I need to be at max competition level, right? Where I know that what I'm taking isn't the best for me. I'm going to keep taking it, so I would like some help in how to increase my output without increasing my risk. unnecessarily, if that makes any sense. So that's what I need. I need someone who's not going to bullshit me and be like, just stop taking steroids, because I'm not gonna, and then I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing and just like fucking like this seems good.
Yeah, you need to maximize
like,
your effectiveness, but
Right.
minimize your risk.
So, but the thing is,
Instead
too,
of
I
just
also
shooting up whatever.
feel better on all this shit than I do not, because not on it, I'm very moody. I get very depressed a lot of the times, and this is before I started taking anything, right? So, on it, I feel more like a fucking man, right? Like than I ever did,
Yeah.
and it also increases just my ability to live my life. Like it increases my fucking stamina. It increases
The life quality
my,
is just
man,
so
my
much
life
better.
quality is
Yeah.
100 times better on this shit than it ever was before, because I was very hormonally imbalanced and I didn't know what to do about it. So when I started taking it, I feel like I felt great and then I overdid it, and that feels great too, right? So now I don't know where to land to be healthy and strong. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so like when we got started, we did all the blood work at first because of all the compounds you were on. We did the lipid panel because of all of them can affect your lipids, especially oral steroids affect your lipids. And then we checked the thyroid panel because the trenbolone can affect your thyroid
Right.
as well. And then we checked the regular complete blood cell count, CBC, CMP panel, which is for the testosterone, the hematocrit, and the hemoglobin, because the testosterone-based ones can, and the dianabol is also testosterone-based. Those can increase your hemoglobin and hematocrit.
Right.
And then we checked the just testosterone and estrogen, just to see where you're at.
Right. And so I think we kind of figured out that. Oh God, we going a while? Sorry. So
That's cool.
we did figure out that I needed to chill a little bit, right? So you cut me back on quite a few of the shit I was taking, and then I don't think we got far enough into it to even get me on the right path.
What was your suggestion for something like? Would this be like an off season like?
No, I was getting ready for. I wanted
So
to
this-
What would be your
So
suggestion for getting
his
someone
goal
ready for a
was
comp?
going from 300 to 230.
right.
Right.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
get as strong as I could be.
Yeah, with in prep and goals in mind, so like strength and performance oriented, while also doing a cut, and then you're what, like 12 weeks out from a competition.
I was further than that. So it was what, August
12 to
was
16
the
weeks or
competition,
something?
and I was in February. So we had
Okay.
that much time to get me fucking ready. And so what we were doing first, we had to figure out what the fuck was going on, and then we were figuring out what we were gonna do. And so the plan was to be one of those dudes, because me getting down to 250, I'd be fucking shredded at 240, 250, at least at that time for sure, because I was fucking big. But I had to get to 230. So he wanted me at that range where I think we talked about it. I would be walking 250.
yeah, so
cutting
within
230.
within 10% of 230.
Right.
So you knew where you were at and what was good and what was wrong, and then you had a goal, and then you just needed to get there. What was the
Well,
what
that
was the
was the
suggestion?
problem. I don't
for
think
the
we
protocol?
figured out. I did this for like a month, so I don't think we even figured out like what needed to change.
What did you
I did
change?
blood work
Did you guys
like
change
fucking
anything?
once. We figured out where I was. We didn't figure out where what I was doing was taking me.
What
yet.
to do with what you figured
Yeah.
out.
So you didn't
Yeah.
change anything?
No, I started working out the way he told me to,
Yeah.
and eating the way he told me to.
Right.
Yeah,
and then I stopped.
the diet, the nutrition, and the exercise is what we focused on.
Yeah.
Yeah. We figured that shit out.
Yeah, figuring out how to count your calories, hitting your protein goals.
Right.
That's what we were mostly focusing on, and then just making sure your blood pressure didn't get too high.
Right. Checking that every fucking day.
Yeah.
It sucked. Yeah. And it's not even hard. It takes like 45 seconds, but I'd fucking forget every day. I had to put it next to my bed to even get it done. And set an alarm.
Yeah. So I know that you've never have been, and you probably never will be in that certain situation from where he was starting and where he was ending. But just based on your research, what would you have given him for like a protocol?
So his main goal was fat loss.
Right.
Right.
So
Because I was strong already.
Yeah.
I was okay with the strength. I wanted to, of course, increase it, but it was fat loss was huge. It was like 270 or some shit.
So depending on what compounds he should take, I feel it's independent. So whatever works with your body, like like you said, you get shredded on Tren. I would never take Tren, but it works for you. So I mean, if you get shredded on Tren, then leave that Tren in.
Yeah.
Right.
But I would keep checking his thyroid panel, like I said, because Tren affects your thyroid.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably why it has the ability to get you shredded as well. And then they'll just keep track of the blood work to make sure there's no negative side effects from it. But like I've seen with the safe use model, so find that testosterone base, keep the testosterone where it's at, and with the estrogen levels where it's at, without having to use an AI. And then you can add in the Tren, and if that's working for you, don't add anything else.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, so it's hard. I mean, so I think what you're trying to get at is like, where would you start, like for a normal person? But I think what he's explaining is every person is completely different.
Yeah. No, because I can't do DHTs whatsoever. That's why, like, the mast, like, I'm taking now 140 milligrams a week of mast. And that's where I'm going to start, and then hopefully I can become more tolerable to it. And then I can start taking some other stuff, but I can't do DHTs really at all, which sucks. I get, like, a autoimmune response, and I start getting, like, rashes and breaking out and shit for some reason.
So that could also be where you're getting your stuff.
Yeah.
It could be what they're cutting it with. Yeah.
Well, I've used two different
carrier
compounds and two
oil.
different brands too, or like brands, I guess.
Without them telling you what it is. So I would get that shit tested. Yeah. Like if you get a compound from somebody, figure out what the fuck's in it, because there's testing to see first of all if it's legit.
Yeah.
Right, and then there's also testing like what they cut it with and all that other stuff. I would figure that shit out, take it. See what fucking happens.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it's a pretty common thing with the DHTs for people to not like handle them, especially because I'm like prone to certain side effects too, like especially acne, and DHTs just fucking flare that up like crazy. Yeah, like that's a really known thing. That's really the big thing.
I got to the point I was taking Tren year round. And I felt wonderful. And it was just a good thing for me.
And some people can do that and get away with it, and it doesn't affect their health markers at all. Like, what's his name? Joe Sullivan was on Tren for 2 years straight, and he was perfectly healthy. He stopped for other reasons. I think it was, perfectly healthy, but, like, he probably didn't study, like, he probably never saw a neurologist or anything. You know what I mean?
Did it for probably
and then he probably needed some fucking therapy after that, too. But, like, as far as, like, his health markers go, like, from basic labs and shit, he was perfectly healthy 2 years straight.
I was doing, I want to say, like 300 a week for, like, a year and a half. And that was, like, the minimum I was at. So, like, I'd be doing fucking cycles in between, and then I'd come off, and I'd still keep Tren for, like, 300 milligrams a fucking week.
Yeah.
Well, you may feel great, and still your health markers may look great, but you don't know what kind of damage that's doing to your internal organs, your cardiac architecture.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Exactly. Like, there's some things I'm sure he didn't get checked.
That's one of the things I would like to just go in and be like, a doctor, like, I've gone in and be like, look, I need everything checked. Like, do that. And they're like, okay, just pull down your pants, right? Like, cough to the left. Like, no, doc. Like, I want you to scan all my shit. I want you to, like, take a peek all up inside me. I don't give a fuck, right? Like, I need to see health-wise where I'm at, what I fucked up, and, like, what I need to do to keep me alive.
Yeah, so there's some tests you can do in your heart. You can get a EKG done. You can get an echocardiogram done.
Yeah, but these are all, like, fucking crazy expensive.
They are.
Yeah, if you don't have insurance.
What insurance?
Even with insurance.
Insurance doesn't cover it, yeah.
Right. I don't know. Well, yeah. We'll see.
Some people just don't need as much either. Like, Austin's making fucking crazy gains off of, like, what? Like, 200 or less of tests a week?
Yeah, optimal would be find your minimum effective dose. So you can make gains on the minimum amount.
Yeah.
So that would be optimal.
Well, I feel fucking great right now.
Yeah.
I'm like fucking, what, 3-4 weeks in? of what I've been taking, and it's amazing.
Yeah, the life quality of this shit changes so much. I think that changes honestly more than performance, like with training.
It's hard too because then I have a very addictive personality. So like I was a fucking alcoholic, cokehead for a while, like all this other shit. So now I'm on this other shit that makes me feel great, you know. And
that's
like,
what I worry about even like dipping my toes into anything else.
Yeah,
and that's what's been nice about the test is like I don't feel it really.
No, it's totally.
But that's the other thing too.
Like,
we were talking about like just your dick, right? Like you feel a lot better there, right?
100%.
How is that not addictive?
Yeah.
You know, like every little piece of this, drinking too much fucking water can get addictive. Like, and it's frustrating what you choose to be addicted to, and because that we've talked about this before. Like, you're never not going to be an addict. I'm never not going to be an addict. I'm addicted to something.
Yeah.
All the time. And a lot of the times, right now, it's fucking steroids in the gym. That's what I'm doing right now. Like,
but
I
as
can't
far as
not
the
do one of those three
test
things
goes,
a day.
like I dialed in my sleep and diet and consistency and discipline for several years before I even started that.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
but that's what I'm saying. Once you start taking it, though, like, how much better do you feel just from that? Like, you know there's a difference. You know what I mean? When you start taking it. And that's the frustrating part, is that, like, I know how much better my life is on it. And I know how shit it is when I'm not. And so it gets to the point where it's like, where is this okay and not just my new addiction?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's okay.
I'm not
I just
pumping
think
a
generally
crazy
it's okay.
amount into
Yeah.
me, like, because I know dudes are fucking pumping in like thousands of milligrams a week, right? Plus pounding in fucking IU after IU of HGH, all that shit. And I know people are doing it, but just because I'm not at that level, I'm still at a fucking high level. Like, where am I at? Like, what's okay and what's not? Right? So I guess we're just at the point where, like, if we're happy, we're good.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the Merrick is the point, right? Like, get your blood checked out and find out where you're at, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Merrick's a big deal. That's something I suggest, like, a lot.
Right. I got to get blood work done here soon.
Yeah,
I get it.
It's a good thing. Yeah, and honestly, like, I take the less is more approach, because when I start getting, like, the side effects, like the loss of, like, appetite or lack thereof sleep, or just kind of get I don't really get anxiety too much, but, like, I'll get kind of, like, tweaked out a little bit sometimes, especially on, like, the 19 Nors, like the Nandrolone. All I've done is NPP from that tree. I've never done, like, actual like I've never done Tren, and I've also never done, like, Deca as the ester for Nandrolone. Yeah, I never done that, but like the Nandrolone, I keep it like the most I've done and am doing currently is 210. I just started this morning, so 140 mass, 350 test, and then 210 NPP, and that's like on for me.
Well, so like
and that's like
What's
fucking
NPP?
that's like
I don't even
nothing.
know what that
It's Nandrolone. It's like Deca, but it's just a shorter ester. Essentially.
Propionate.
Yeah, Nandrolone
So that means
phenylpropionate. So it's like I think it's like
just like how long
like
it takes
alcohol based. Yeah,
It's a short acting.
Yeah, because I pin every day, so I'm not gonna. I'm
That's
cool with
crazy to me too. Is that like a thing? Like you know about this stuff a lot, right? Like he's saying these guys over here are they pin every fucking
don't.
day. Oh, you don't do that?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, because I'm like twice a week, bro. Like, and I don't understand how people can fucking. I hate doing it. Why would I do it more often?
Yeah, so I like longer, lower, slower. So long ester, spread out the frequency. So I don't like the hormone fluctuations.
Yeah.
So if you're pinning short esters, you're going to get more spikes and
Right.
more, trenches.
Right. Those trenches fucking kill me.
Like
I
I still
if you're
use
pinning
well, I
less
still
often,
use
you would
long
be high
esters.
and then it dip low.
Right,
and
but
then
with
get your
longer
next one.
esters, what he's saying. So if you're taking a shorter ester, shorter activation, right, but you're taking them spread out, so
Yeah,
that's
I
when
guess.
you're dipping and you have to come back
because it's
up.
shorter activation, but it's also shorter time to leave your system too, like shorter half life.
Right. Yeah. I don't see the point in the shorter ones, just personally, because I feel like I want this effect as long as possible. So it's not like I don't get fucking drug tested. I don't give a shit. I work for me, right? Like, so no one's drug testing me, and I don't even think, do they fucking drug test for steroids, like for jobs?
No.
No, never.
Okay, I need to start telling people that. Anyways, I don't know, man. Like, why would you take the shorter ester? Like, is it more powerful? Like quicker?
Sometimes it's just more. Sometimes it's more cost effective. Usually, it's not.
Well, I heard of people starting a cycle with propionate until the enthanate kicks in. That's what I've heard. That's the only reason I've heard you using it, because it kicks in faster, but it also goes away faster.
Some people use the shorter esters in case they have side effects. It's out of your system faster.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I think if you're taking like large doses, like you can't fit that much like in a weekly dose. You'd have to do it more of a split up your doses.
The daily and the shorter ester. The NPP is the only short ester thing I do. Other than that, it's I actually use cypionate is my preferred test, and then the mast is an anthate, so that's also a long ester.
Right.
But I just do the NPP. That's the only short one. But it's like the hormone balance too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like nothing is like there are some that you can take, and like even when I would take orals, like I did a round of D-ball a few months ago, and I would do, so it ended up for like the past 2 weeks like 40 a day, and I would break it up like 10 through the day. I probably didn't have to, but that's what I would do. And then sometimes, like if I was training like earlier, I'd take like 20 before training.
It just sounds
But
like so much more work than I need.
It is.
I mean, I'm already doing a bunch of shit. I don't need to add in like it's 4
Well,
o'clock.
it's
time to
more
stab me
work, but
again,
I don't know if
you
it's more work that you don't need. I think it's
Well, if you have long
I think it's pretty
esters, it doesn't
promising.
make sense to like do it more often. Yeah, it makes sense.
Well, like
with
the
short.
half life can be like 7 to 9 days or something, but you will drop after like you will start to drop after like a couple days.
I don't know.
You know what I mean? So it's not like big up and down, but you know it goes from little bit of a wave to just.
I do know what you're
basically
saying,
flat,
because I
you know
went
what
from
mean?
taking it once a week to splitting it between the two, because by the time I got to my next shot, Friday, Saturday, I'm fucking coming.
And I like having my estrogen pretty high too. I can get it pretty high without any side effects. But if for some reason my estrogen is just like super sensitive to going up and down. So like if I don't pin every day, then I'll aromatize more, and then I'll start to get things like high blood pressure.
Right.
That's really the only estrogen.
I feel like I
side
just
effect
don't get like a crazy amount of side effects from this shit. Is the only.
That's
reason
good, dude.
I
Like the less side
feel
effects you
better
get, the more
about
you can
it.
party. So
I'm fucking into it. That's
Yeah.
for sure.
yeah.
I don't know, man. So I was thinking of I have a timer set for like 11 p.m. for HGH, adding that in because I have a lot of it. So I figured, fuck it, right? Like it's get huge too. Is that bad to add in with everything else, or I heard HGH is good for you.
I don't think it's good nor bad. It's just if you really need it or not.
No.
It's just how
do you
conducive
think?
it's going to be.
I'm not an expert on HGH,
Okay.
but I follow Alex Kiekel, who's written a book on HGH.
Oh.
So I'd recommend, learning from him.
Yeah.
Alex Kiekel.
Yeah.
Cool. I'll remember that because it sounds like Kiekel.
I heard it's overrated.
HGH.
As far as like the recovery aspect, because people use it for recovery.
I'm using it to get huge. I don't want to get giant.
Personally, I won't use HGH because I don't want to get the internal organ growth,
Right.
Yeah.
or there's a lot of side effects like with your jaw structure, like your whole face
Yeah.
can grow.
Yeah, people morph.
Like-
yeah.
Like my wife works in the medical field, and she's seen people with growth hormone problems, or people taking growth hormone and the side effects they get. Like, I don't.
Sometimes it's pretty gnarly.
So
Yeah.
you think it's not worth it? Then
No.
the effect you. Okay, I guess that's fair.
Acromegaly, I think it's called.
Well, because I'm not a
People just get the huge
bodybuilder
faces.
either.
Yeah.
Like didn't Rogan do that? Joe Rogan, and his head's all.
Yeah,
big
Joe
than it
Rogan
used
got
to
the
be.
bubble gut from
Yeah.
it.
and just way bigger head than he used to have.
Yeah, I think that the pros and cons really need to be weighed on that. Some
Yeah.
people can get away with it though. I mean,
I've never
like,
been consistent enough to feel anything from it or to even see anything from it. So
Yeah.
I mean, I have like fucking stacks of it. I don't know. I'll probably just throw it away or whatever. But
Some people just say that it's overrated. I know that.
right now, that's the thing too. I'm not bodybuilding, so I really don't give a shit. I get big, just fine
Yeah.
without it. So I'm not too concerned. I just want to get big again. I just want it right now. That's how it always goes, right?
Yeah.
I just want to be huge right now. I want to be strong as fuck right now. So
Yeah, you get there quick. Bounce right back, dude. Probably like 3 or 4 weeks, and you'll be probably back in regular shape again.
Yeah, that muscle memory will pump
Uh-huh.
right back.
yeah.
It's probably good to take a break too.
Yeah, actually, when I was training 7 days a week, like fucking six years ago, 7 days a week, every fucking day I was at the gym, just banging it. I couldn't get fucking strong. And then I took a 2-week vacation, and I was pissed because it was in El Salvador, and there's like no gym anywhere near where my wife had lived. And so I was pissed. I came back, and I was way stronger than when I left. I was like, what the fuck? So first lesson in rest is good. It's taken me a long time to figure out that you need to rest.
The more days of rest I have, the stronger I feel.
Yeah.
But I'm in my 40s now too, so it's like I definitely need my rest days.
That's how I'm going to peak for static. I'm not really doing any training for static. I'm just going to make sure that my body's in shape, and I know how to log press, and I know how to do an 18-inch axle deadlift. So I've done an 18-inch axle deadlift one time. It was this week. So I think that's all I really need, just to understand it, and then just go in rested. That's probably what I'm going to do for like doing more comps too. Like I'm not going to like directly train the events or anything. Like I've done a few comps to know pretty much how to do most of the implements and like most of the movements and stuff. I think just going into them, I'll do like my own regularly scheduled training for whatever it is, and then just make sure my body's rested for the comp, and then you can show up and perform probably about the same as if you were to like program for it and then go into like a peak that way.
I actually
You'd
usually
probably
take like
pretty
a week
close.
off before a competition. I'll
Yeah.
take like a week off, and or if I'm going to the gym, I'm like just doing the lifts, not really any weight behind it. I always feel really good.
Yep.
And then I never, it's probably fucked up, but I never really, everybody's always over there warming up during a competition. Like they're like picking up the implements and shit. I'm like, you're wasting so much energy just picking that up like 6-7 times.
Sometimes.
A lot of people do too much
Yeah.
during their warm-ups.
Yeah,
Oh.
like 6-7 times. Like pick it up, feel it, put it down, and fuck off. Like what are you
that
doing?
Brendan kid from Hardcore, when we were at the sweater, he was warming up on the deadlift, and he goes, "Oh, I just hit a PR." I'm like,
Oh no.
I'm like, "Oh yeah, oh no!" Like that's not what you should be doing on a warm up. And then he hit less in the actual competition poll than he did in his warm up.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, no shit. You just hit a PR. You're gonna have to wait a few weeks to hit that again, probably.
Yeah.
You know, not 15 minutes later.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna probably have to start chilling out here a minute. Okay, well, yeah, let's cut this off. It's like 1 o'clock. We've been here for 2
Let's
hours.
do it.
If you guys are down, come back next week. I'm fucking always doing this Sunday at 9 a.m. or 11, depending on what works better for that week, I guess. I think 11 works a little better. We have to wake up a little less early, but
I think Joey's gonna be slightly out of town.
slightly, yeah.
I'll be in Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good. That'll be fucking cool, though, to have you back, though. Whenever you want, man. I'm into it. So, yeah, we'll just close it out. This is Tyler.
Well, good
Toby
luck next
Townsend.
week.
Oh,
Thanks.
Yeah.
yeah, good luck, dude. You got to
Good
keep
luck,
killing
man.
it. Let us know how it goes, and
sure.
I'm sure you're going to win anyway, so I'm not really worried.
Cool.
But, yeah.
That's the plan.
Yeah. All right, this is Tyler Toby Townsend.
Joey Stampke.
Austin Slick.
Brady Chisholm.
All right.
Word.